guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are sitting, it is the evening. I got some dishes in my sink ready to be washed here in a little while. I've turned off the crock pot. Everybody has gone to bed, so it is just me alone in the tiny house. But guys, I am super excited because we are going to start the very first of our Christmas crafting. So get a hot drink or a cold drink, depending on how hot it is where you are. Here in Texas, it is still in the 80s. So it's nice and warm on this fall evening, but that's okay. That's not going to stop us from our Christmas crafting. So I'm going to get the camera set up and I'm going to show you what we'll be doing today. I'm so excited. And we are going to be making these beautiful wall swags. I have one made here. I'm going to show you exactly how we DIY'd this. It is so simple and looks so elegant on a door. So we're starting off by using this swag that we got. It's actually just a pick. So it's an $8 pick, $7.97 from Walmart, and it's flocked. I'm also going to be using some assorted Christmas ornaments. I'm going to be using some blue and some gold mesh, and a little bit of tartan plaid ribbon. This is really gonna fill it out. It's gonna look so gorgeous. And we also wanna have pipe cleaners. Pipe cleaners are my secret weapon. They get the job done without having to use hot glue. And don't forget scissors. So the very first step is going to be to fluff out your swag. This is so important. You don't want it to look all bunchy or like it's been crushed sitting in a box all year. So once you get that fluffed, we're gonna go ahead and do some little housekeeping stuff for our crafting. We're gonna make some little ties. So I don't feel like I need to use the whole pipe cleaner, and so I'm gonna cut my little pipe cleaners in half. That way I have several that are sitting right next to me that I can just grab. And again, we're using these in place of using hot glue to attach our ornaments. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is I'm taking my blue deco mesh. Now, this was bought at Hobby Lobby, and it is so simple to use. You just take and kind of bunch the frayed end where you've cut it. So I've used this obviously before, and so I'm just bunching that end, and I'm pulling out, I want to say about 3 feet of this. You'll kind of need to measure your swag, and you want to have a little bit of overhang so it can be bunchy. So for my swag, I needed about 3 feet of this deco mesh. Then I'm going to take a pipe cleaner, and the part where I've kind of bunched up the end, I'm going to go ahead and twist tie that together so that way it doesn't unravel when I cut it. All right, and now I'm going to cut this little section off from the rest of the roll. Now I'm just going to take my gold mesh, and using my blue mesh, I'm going to measure out the same distance. So I'm just going to pinch this end, like I said, for the first blue mesh. Basically, this just holds everything together, so that way when you cut it, it doesn't like roll back up, because the mesh, that is the only annoying thing about mesh, is that you are using it and it wants to roll back over on itself because it's used to being in this rolled form. So once I have that tied on the end, like I said, I'm just using this blue mesh to kind of gauge where I need to cut the gold mesh, because I don't want to have too much overhang, because I'll have to cut it and then there'll be wasted mesh. All right, now I'm going to take the blue mesh and I'm going to attach it at the top of the stem. And then I'm going to create a poof. So I do this by kind of picking up on the mesh and then pinching it, just like I did at the top. But I want to make sure that the middle part of my mesh has enough to really look poofy and bunchy. And so once I get that little poofy bunch pinched together with my hands, I take a pipe cleaner and I secure that, because again, it will walk away on you. It will roll back over. And then I'm going to use the rest of that pipe cleaner to attach it to a branch further down on my swag. So about halfway down, maybe a little bit more than halfway, but you can kind of feel it out for how you feel and what you think looks best on your swag. Now I'm going to take and do the very same thing on the bottom. So I'm going to create a little pinch point with my hands like this, and then I'm going to secure that with another pipe cleaner. Once it's secured, I'm going to attach that very close to the bottom branch. So it's on the bottom branch, but not like at the very bottom of that bottom branch. So I'm giving about an inch or so of still having that pretty greenery popping out. Then I'm just going to attach that just like I did the first two pipe cleaners. Just very simple. It just goes straight through the greenery and then you twist it in the back. I feel like this craft is so awesome because it looks like it's something that's really hard to do when it's very simple. I love a good cheater, decorator cheater moment. Okay, so now we're gonna take our gold, but we're going to attach our plaid ribbon to this. So this is gonna be easier than adding in a whole bunch more pipe cleaners. So I'm just using the first pipe cleaner that I used to make that little pinch point, and I'm going to use that and twist it onto there. Now, if you need to use a full pipe cleaner to do that, like maybe your fingers aren't super nimble, which mine aren't, and I did feel like, oh, I could have used a little bit bigger of a pipe cleaner there, then go for it. But I still used my little half pipe cleaner and it worked out just fine. Now, I'm gonna cut off the plaid ribbon a little bit longer than the gold ribbon because I wanna have a tail to kind of twist up at the bottom of this to give that swag a little more length without it being the greenery. Now I'm going to attach this next to the blue right in the exact same spot. So I'm putting the pipe cleaner around the stem and around the blue one, but it's kind of going over to the side. So if the blue is on the left side, the gold needs to come down the right side. And that way we get kind of an even looking swag and everything's not on one side. Now I'm gonna create my little poof and I'm gonna go down exactly the same way. So this is like a waterfall technique if you were going to be doing a waterfall ribbon look on your Christmas tree. It's the exact same thing. So you're just making your poof and pinching it in and using the pipe cleaner to attach. So I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom, and then at the bottom, just like at the top, we're meeting at the same point. So your gold goes down the right and your blue goes down the left, and then it meets up at the bottom. So very, very simple, but look how beautiful this looks just with the ribbon. Honestly, if you're kind of a simple gal or simple guy, go for it. You could just leave it right here and it would look beautiful and very well done. Now I'm gonna fluff up. So that's like the key, guys, to fluff your ribbons, fluff your trees, fluff all your branches. So I wanna make sure that I have some of that greenery poking out amongst this ribbon. Now we're gonna make a topper. So I'm going to make a bow for the very top so that it looks like all of this beautiful ribbon is coming off of one bow. So I'm gonna make kind of simple bow. This is an Olivia bow. This is exactly how I learned, was by watching Olivia's Romantic Home. And so all you do is you loop the ribbon over on itself twice, and that way you get 4 little loops. So I'm going to take and I'm going to bend this, and I'm going to use my pipe cleaner again to pinch in the center and hold this together. So that is so simple. This is like a little cheater style bow. Now, I could have left that ribbon longer and had some tails, but I decided to make this even simpler by making the tails separately. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut my ribbon the length of the tails that I want, and you gotta remember to double it because it's gonna be on either side, right? So check out how long this is. This is probably 18 inches of ribbon, but by the time I show you what I'm gonna do with it, you're gonna see why we have a longer piece of ribbon. So always finish your ends how you like. I went ahead and gave them an angled end, but you could give them a dovetail, you could do them flat. It's totally up to however you feel. So now I'm just gonna take this ribbon and I'm going to attach it to the bow, but I'm gonna take and kind of find the center point, pinch it, and use the pipe cleaner to attach it to the bow that I just made. So you see, it's like so simple and such a cheater's move, but I'm loving it. Okay, so now we're gonna put it up at the top, and again, we're using that same pipe cleaner that we're using to hold everything together, and then we're gonna fluff it. You guys know, fluffing is key. And guys, this is so much easier when you use wired ribbon. So make sure that when you go and you purchase ribbon, especially for all the stuff that you do on trees or swags or garlands, wired ribbon is the way to go. It holds its shape, it's not loose, it gives you a really structured look. So by the time you get finished fluffing, it looks like a store-bought bow. Maybe even better than the store-bought bows, because I've been to Walmart recently and those bows have seen better days and they just came out. I think like wherever they transport those things, they get battered. Poor things. So for the ends and these tails, I'm just rolling them up and pulling them out just like you would like a ringlet curl. So I'm doing that on either side. That way it really gives it like a fun, beautiful, whimsical, finished look. I really think, again, the fluffing makes the difference. All right, and we're gonna do the same to that tail that we left long at the bottom of our wreath. I really think that this gives it a very finished, beautiful look. It ties in the curls at the top. Now we're gonna just add a little bit of spice. So we're gonna do this by pipe cleanering through the hook of those ornaments and attaching them in amongst the swag at different points. So I'm actually using some of my pinch points and I'm hiding some of my more obvious pipe cleaners. Luckily, if you use white pipe cleaners on a flocked swag or garland, they're not that noticeable. So my colors this year are blue, green, and red. And so you can see that throughout my swag. And then I decided when I was done that I needed a pop of silver. So I have these slightly larger silver ornaments that I'm going to add in at the top and kind of towards the bottom. But really, the ornament placement is totally up to what your eye looks like, what your eye likes. So it's absolutely up to you where you place them. I place mine kind of at the top and at the bottom and just kind of intersperse them where I needed to hide a pipe cleaner or where I needed to balance out my swag. So I'm actually going to do this to the first one that I made too. So this is the one with the silver and the first one doesn't have the silver, but I really think the silver makes it. And here they are, guys. This was so simple, so easy. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments and I will tell you exactly how I did this. What's great about this is it doesn't need any glue. There's hardly any work involved, guys, and you can use these and change these over and over and over again. Guys, I cannot wait. Stay with me because next week we are going to be doing some beautiful garlands in a similar but not exactly the same theme, and I cannot wait to share it with you. Let me know down in the comments again what was your favorite part and what you're planning and when you're putting up your tree. I will see you in the next one, guys. Don't forget to check me out on all my social media. Have a great one.